Okay. Hello. My co-caster here, is he still making pizza?
Brother, I'm already here, brother. I've been waiting on all y'all.
Okay, we've been waiting on all them. Some man like to start an ARAM, they can't force a surrender 5 minutes before the game
Like you
schedule.
you expect them to be smart individuals. All right, it's die we're talking about here.
I know, I expect too much. Yeah. What's a rec league game without being 9 minutes late?
We just got to go back to our roots, man. We've been on time for most of these games this season. Got to go back to what we know best.
Love that, love that. Quickly, everybody in stream, does Paradox sound good or do I need to turn him up now? Let me know or he's not moving.
Hello, I sound. Let me see how I sound like.
Check it yourself. Screw it. We can't trust them. Sounds
That
good?
sound fun. Yeah, that
Lovely.
sound fun.
So today we have Wits versus Die Ubermensch. And we have two subs, one for either team. Pierre subbing out, sorry, and they're bringing Twix in.
Yeah, Twix is gonna be
And
subbing in.
Demi out for Moxian on Die. So
It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna be seeing Moxian go back to his Michigan's days. Gonna be hopping into the jungle this time.
as long as we don't see a Lee Sin, it could be looking good for Die.
I kind of want to see a Silas though, just to see how big of an improvement it is over Demi.
It can't get worse, so I don't know.
All right, let's see. You're going to be starting out with some standard bans here. You're going to be seeing Jinx and Lux for, I believe that is Die Ubermensch, and the Ornn and Viego taken away from Wits Enders. So targeting Moxian's champ pool, as well as, I believe, Al in the top lane with the Ornn.
Yeah, which I don't know if you was paying much attention there in pre-lobby, but Al has actually been practicing against and looking into Zach matchups top and Tom Kench matchup top. So he's been preparing quite hard for Pierre, and then Pierre doesn't show. So I hope he's still feeling crispy on his other champions because he might not be playing into a 10.
I would never root against Hardy, true. Yeah, thankfully, I wasn't so few surprises Pierre got subbed out. It is kind of 2 in the morning in the UK, so probably not the best time for him to be playing League of Legends.
On a
So,
weekday.
but yeah, on a weekday as well. So, and with the Skarner ban, typically I was gonna say that if you wanted to counter into the Tom Kench and the Zac, Skarner is a very good counter. So they're gonna be banning it away themselves. So don't want to give that over to Twix in the top lane or Mars in the jungle. Still very strong champion on the patch.
Yeah, Twix, I don't know if he plays Skarner. And Mike, I don't know if he's going to be jungle or bot. They seem pretty flexible, so I'm not too sure. But we see a Zac first round pick, very good flex pick, could be
Wait,
anywhere.
doesn't Wits Enders have 2 subs? Because Fatty's not on their team.
That's what I was just thinking.
Huh. Okay, so we're gonna be seeing some weird shenanigans here in the side 4 Wits Enders. Another champion I'm surprised made it through ban phase is Zyra. With Aeon Centaurian, who's kind of Zyra one trick, as well as having Twinkle on your team. I'm surprised they let that champion through, as well as Moxian gonna be picking up the Lilia here for himself.
Yeah, that's already showing a lot of AP damage, so it's not the best first 2 picks, I don't think, but I think they're just very comfortable picks for them.
Mm-hmm.
So pick them up early, so they don't get banned round 2. This Fortune laning into the Zyra, that's pretty good because if I remember rightly, you can Q the plants once and it will destroy the plant, and it will also
And you get the ricochet.
do a ridiculous amount of damage.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good counter there. Wonder what they're gonna pick for the support role as the counter into the Zyra. Gonna be picking up the brand here, so that makes me think that's gonna be Fatty's brand. He does play that champion quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where they end up going. Is it going to be Gemstone being put down into support and Fatty going to play mid? Is that the angle here, or are they going to stick with what they've been playing this season and just put Fatty in support? I don't know.
I feel like they'll probably put Fatty into support. I don't really see a reason why you want to move Gemstone out of the way. I know Fatty is a pretty good mid laner, but people also rate Gemstone highly in the mid lane, so it'd be weird to move him out of role for somebody who does play support in Fatty.
And they pick up the Ashe here, which very good with Zyra too, because if you could just slow them, Zyra could just do a ridiculous amount of damage. Level 1 from Zyra Ashe is actually incredible.
Yeah, it's very, very oppressive. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Mike and potentially Fatty play that down in the bot lane.
Taking the Gragas away from Al as well.
Yeah.
Banning the Morgana just to help supplement the Zyra in the bot lane. Just a comfortability ban. Take that away so Zyra can have an easier time. Just in case
hmm
they would pick.
Yeah, and also it's a really good counter to Lilia Ashe. Just put down the Black Shield, and their CC is pretty much useless on whoever carry that they want to make CC immune. We're gonna be seeing the Jax banned away from Twix here in the top lane, so don't want to play against that. Final band here, probably gonna be targeting top lane once again. No, they're actually be targeting mid lane. Gonna be taking out Twinkle's Zed. That is not something I expected to say today.
No, not something I expected either. But I guess if you see the double AP Yone, I know Twinkle's played a little bit of Yone. I don't know how good it is, but I know he's played a fair amount of it. I think if I remember
He,
rightly, he played a game in preseason, Yone, right?
yeah, he went like 10-1 on the own. He did a lot of damage and was a pretty big carry for them that game. So I'm surprised that they went for the Zed ban instead.
Overall, Ubermensch's team shaping up. I think you need a very good frontline tank in the top lane to supplement this
Yeah,
team.
you need
Um,
something that can just go in.
they got a lot of damage, good pick
hmm
potential, really good front to back with the Zyra Lilia, and Yone. I don't know.
I wonder if they just go Malphite here as their final pick. You get that extra go in button with the Ashe, the Yone that can follow up, and you get the counter into the Renekton top lane. Unless they're going to try some weird things where they flex the Renekton to the mid lane to give it as a counter pick to the Yone.
I like the Malphite too because you see an MF like ulting or Brand alone, two very immobile carries there that you could just jump on, and it's going to
Mhm.
be extremely easy. Really good catch potential. So I really like the Malphite.
Yeah, last pick going to be picked up here is going to be the Diana. So I wonder if that's going to be Gemstone Diana mid? I don't really know how too well that goes into the Yone mid. Gonna see what Al's gonna pick up here with 5 seconds left. We're gonna see the Malphite hover, like we were talking about. Really good matchup into the Renekton. Great counter into the Misfortune and the Brand, and I really like it.
It's a good go button. Very good go
Yeah.
button. Ubermensch has a very clear cut idea of how they want to play this game. I think on the end of Wits Enders, it's looking a little bit more sloppy, but there's definitely a lot of playability.
mhm.
A good
Uh,
wombo combo from Diana Misfortune and Brand. It looks like a lot of damage, a lot of stack
yeah,
kill.
it's a pick comp versus a dive comp. So typically the counter to pick comps though is hard engage. Usually you want something that can just kind of go in and make it so they can't be. You can't allow them to set up for the picks first. You want to just go into their face where they're a bit weaker. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play these team comps out.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is going to come down to how they're laning too. I think if you can come out of lane decent enough on Ubermensch, your mid game looks very strong.
hmm
Same could be said about Wits Enders too, but I think it's a little bit easier to play Ubermensch laning phase. The 2v2 bot lane I think is easier for Um, top lane, like you say, is a counter, Malphite and a Renekton. And then I
Okay,
don't know how Yone and Diana plays.
quick question though. Diana had last pick. Oh no, they picked Malphite R5. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, I was gonna say, why didn't they go Silas? Never mind. I still think Silas would have been good. You have the Ashe ult, you have the Zyra ult, and the Yone ult. So it also dissuades the Malphite on R5 if they would have went for Silas in the mid lane there. It's a bit rougher of a matchup for Yone, but into the Yone, but I still think it would have been a decent flex pick. But looking at these team comps, let's see which team with nameplates off would you prefer to have be playing?
Hmm. Contrary to everything that I have said in the past 5 minutes, I actually am leaning a little bit more towards Wits Enders. Just because I'm envisioning mid game T fights with Misfortune, Diana Brand.
hmm
And, Zach's playability is insane. I was looking at the 2v2 bot and how they're going to play the game. I think that Zach gives Wits Enders an extremely good avenue to come into the lane. You could E from 6 screens away with Zach. Um, I think they're going to have lane priority and Ash Zyra. So I think Zach can help bot lane extremely well. Um, I'm just I think, like I said earlier, I think a lot of it comes down to laning phase. I think whichever team's going to come out in laning phase just a little bit stronger, maybe the first two dragons might decide this game. I'm not too sure. Um, but nameplates off, I actually would prefer to play Wits Enders.
Yeah, I definitely think the Zac is the big changing point for this team comp because the Zac can be the really big disruptor here. Mars just has so many targets to jump onto because even though Brand and Misfortune are immobile, the Ashe and the Zyra are pretty immobile as well. So if Zac can find a really good engagement in the backline, Diana can very easily follow up and they could just look for a one shot.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited though. I think both
Hmm.
teams match reasonably well. I don't think it's going to be an extremely one-sided match. Um, I think Twinkle needs to play extremely well this game. Um, into the Diana. I think
Yeah.
him getting mid prio, being able to move to objectives first, being able to get himself on the map as Yone. I think he needs to play this extremely.
Let's see. Yeah, checking out the mid lane matchup, I'm actually surprised. Diana actually has a 54% win rate into the Yone, so that's a matchup I was not expecting to be so Diana favored.
I think Diana does pretty well into anybody that's melee, right? I think
Yeah,
she plays a lot easier. If you play a ranged mid laner into Diana, Diana has a really hard time, pre six at
yeah.
least. But if you could walk up and you could stack your passive and you can look to trade on your passive and your shield, I think you're in a much more comfortable position. Um,
One thing I'm surprised though, they went for the electrocute. I know a lot of Dianas favor the phase rush rune actually, just because it allows you to just burst the Yone and then not have to worry about him returning fire onto you because you can just run away with the bonus movement speed. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays with the more aggressive rune in the electrocute.
Gemstone actually has the highest mastery in the game on this Diana, more than the supposed Zyra one trick. So
Hmm.
I didn't know he was so already
Yeah,
typing. I didn't know he was so like Diana orientated. I didn't know that was in Gemstone's pool, but I'm happy to see it.
yeah. She used to be a mid laner before the jungle changes a while ago, so definitely going back to his roots. I like that Diana is back in the mid lane. I've never really liked her too much as a jungler. I feel like I've liked her more of assassiny in the mid lane.
Yeah, I really like. I mean, I'm glad that we have. Am I glad? No, I'm not glad. I kind of want to see Diana Yasuo at least once this season.
True. Definitely got to look towards Rek'Latz's team for that.
Yes,
I
I
think
agree.
they're the biggest proponent to bust that out.
I don't know. Power on the Yasuo. I've never seen it. Don't know if I want to.
Let's see. There's a meme about Koan AD champions for a reason.
Oh, I'm not familiar with this meme. I'm not sure I want to know it. Arano's already typing 1-0. He's up in trades.
Alrighty, yeah, Malphite early definitely can punish a Renekton.
And the fake leash coming out from bot lane here. I don't know if I like the fake leash. I think I would rather bot lane already get prio and push this level 2 advantage.
Yeah, typically when you fake leash, you want to do that to make it so you can't be invaded. But with a champion like Zac, that's not really a champion that you have to worry about invading you.
In fact, he's gonna rain hell on this 2v2 bot lane.
Hmm. Let's
So
see.
who do you think the player to look out this match is? Who do you think we need to look out for, champion wise or player wise?
I think you just need to put respect on Fatty. He's a lot of people see him. Oh, he's not on a team, but I think he's a very under appreciated player. I played quite a few games with him, and he could put a lot of pressure on. He might come out of lane inting sometimes, but he'll still do the most damage just because of the type of champions he plays. And if you don't put some respect on him, he can definitely show up for your team.
Yeah, I like playing with Fatty. He's a wild card, right? He's somebody that will do something that you don't expect. He's not a meta pick player. He's very versatile player. I do like Fatty. We got the D Shield second win Renekton. So I don't think a lot's gonna be happening top lane.
not much is going to be expecting. The Malphite just wants to get through the early phase where he is actually at his weakest compared to the Renekton. Once he's able to get that first base off, get some armor, and get his mana flow stacked up, he could be really oppressive into the Renekton.
Do you think it's a still an Eclipse rush here for Renekton, or do you think he wants to go straight for a Cleaver? How do you think he has to play this itemization-wise?
Uh, so the main issue with Eclipse is that it makes you very squishy into the Malphite, especially because he's going for the Q poke variant. So I think he has to go for something that gives him more sustain as well as the healing. It's a really bad matchup into the Malphite. You really don't want Eclipse, but you also kind of like the stats it gives, but you need the ability haste and the health that other items like Black Cleaver or Sundered Sky could give you. So I'd rather see him go those instead of the traditional Eclipse build.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I favor the Eclipse. I know it's really good in the short trades. I know it's, Renekton has a little bit of sustain in his 50 Fury Q. But yeah, I think itemization wise, he wants to stray away from first item.
Yeah.
Not much happening here early game. Both teams just looking to scale up for this mid game, I think.
Yeah. You got Lilia, you got Zac. They both kind of just want to farm it up. Zac wants to be able to reach level 6 before he can really start influencing some waves because of the long E cooldown as well as the extra CC that the ultimate gives. Renekton and Malphite, Renekton needs to kind of push his lead, but he just crashed the first wave, and now he's taking a pretty bad trade in that minion wave. So
Same could be said mid.
both TPs have already been used top lane.
Yeah, I think Al ran out of mana and he wants to keep this pressure up on top. But I don't like how Al's CS, and I think he's had extremely good pressure top lane. But he's really behind on CS here. And Demi, just so you're aware, this is game 1, buddy. They started late because certain people wanted to do an ARAM 5 minutes before.
Yeah. And I think the biggest issue with people who aren't used to playing Malphite top is that they just kind of spam Q on repeat. So the way you play Malphite top when you're going the combat build is you pretty much only Q when you have mana flow up, just because of how much your Q costs early. So a lot of bad Malphites, especially into a D shield second wind, is they'll just spam Q and then they'll go and they'll be forced to TP out early. And one thing I don't like is that he's actually rushing tabbies. So I don't think this is really a tabbies type of game. I think just rushing in for like a Bramble or a Warden's Mail, it gives him a lot more pressure early, or a lot more survivability into the Renekton.
And he's definitely going to want Mercs late game here. I mean, you're looking into a Diana, Brand, Zac. There's a lot of value in tenacity in this game. I'm still looking to make a play here on Twinkle too. The Zac behind. Twinkle doesn't see him. Forcing the flash out already.
Going to be used. But Malxian is here, going to turn his eyes onto Gemstone here. He's going to look to probably try and burst down the Lilia as she walks in here. Flash going to be used by Moxian, and it looks like it's going to be a summoner spell trade. 2 going down, though, for the side of Ubermenschen.
It's unfortunate for Twinkle there. I think if Twinkle hits his Q2 there, I think he at least forces Flash out of Gemstone. But he missed most of his abilities, and Gemstone played really well there to just hold off on the Flash. Got the summoner advantage now mid lane. Wave's in a good state for him. Gonna have to back in TP, but then I think he's gonna be able to hopefully set up a freezer.
I prefer Sundered Sky first for the Renekton. I think if you go Eclipse, then you just get poked out of lane and then dove, or if you go Black Cleaver, you just don't have the extra healing. And it's not really a good first item to rush because it got nerfed. It's not as strong as it used to be. So I think if you go Sundered Sky, you just pretty much nullify the lane phase.
So 27 minutes in this game. First objectives being taken now. We got the dragon up for Ubermenschen and opting for the grubs here on the side of Wits Enders.
Yeah. He's seeing a trade for them, so I like that. But with Al having movement here into the from top lane, he's going to put some pressure on. He's going to grab the first Void Grub. That is really bad.
Oz missed smiting too. Smited the wrong grub.
Oh, Fatty might want to be careful here. Fatty is going to fall most likely. Ultimate going to be used by Moxie. Going to force out the flash from Mike as well as the cleanse. So both sums used on the bot lane of Wits Enders.
And I do like that Mike's opted to take cleanse this game, looking at the enemy team. You know, they got a Zyra, they got a Ashe, they got the sleep from Lilia.
Yeah. No longer a crutch for bad players, I say.
Yep, exactly. People realizing the value in this cleanse. And Twinkle, it's really struggling to hit these Q2s on this melee matchup.
Al gonna use the ultimate to just get out. Flash gonna be forced out of the Malphite as well, so he doesn't get stunned up by the slice and dice. So good job by Al to dodge that gank.
Very good reaction time on the Q as well. Obviously, the Zac coming in from Fog. A lot of summoners burned here, so I don't think this no-kill match is going to last no kills for very much longer.
Yeah, I got some chirping coming out of Al here in the top lane. But this is starting to be the pressure that Zyra Ashe can put onto a lane. They are just getting bullied at the moment.
Foxy coming here from Twix. I would like to see them both collapse it.
Yeah. You don't have the Dominus. You have the Flash, though, but not a lot of survivability once you get forced out the Slice and Dice. And that's going to be first blood going over to Malphite here. I really like that. You know, most people might be like, give it to your Lilia, but I think if you just give it to the Malphite, he can just pretty much now completely nullify the Renekton and won't need any more help for the rest of the game.
Quick's a little bit overzealous there. You realize Lilia just cleared Drake, so you would like to have thought that her bot side jungle was somewhat cleared. And the more likely chance of where this Lilia is going to be is in her top side jungle, so.
Yeah, while all that was going on, Mars looked for a gank in the bot lane, going to force out the Flash. But at the same time, we got a gank in the mid lane. Ultimate going to be missed by Twinkle here and just going to be able to get out.
I'm a little bit ahead of you. What are you at?
I'm at 958.
Hey, we're at the same. Still, only the one kill so far.
Yeah. Had a lot of combat, but no actual deaths so far besides the one gank there in the top lane.
I'm looking to turn the heat up, just beating on this Renekton.
Yeah, and he doesn't give a fuck about Renekton at this point. Like, look at the item comparison in top lane. You got Bammies, you have Chain Vest and Bramble compared to just Merc Treads and a Caulfields, pretty much. Like, this Renekton is just tickling the Malphite at this point.
Yeah, and I'm really happy to see that he didn't rush Tabbies. I think he realizes, you know... Hold on a second.
Al probably just going to be forced to flash, though. I don't think he's worried too much. Gemstone doesn't have the ultimate, so...
That way, Al. Not that way.
Don't... But the ultimate going to connect onto Twix. He's going to flash for the... Brother, you have no damage.
Yeah, that's really fortunate of Al to hit the ult onto Twix. Made it a lot easier for him to escape. That was complete fog of war, complete luck. I think he got a little bit lucky to get out there unscathed.
Yeah, if the ultimate doesn't connect, then Twix can get a double E off, which will shred 25% of the Malphite's armor, and then he just bursts him down with the W once he waits for some of the Fury to stack up. Twinkle just trading into a Gemstone right in front of him. Mars going to be here for the gank, though. Going to miss the Q. Twinkle going back in. Going to find a two-man knockup using the Fate's Call. And Twinkle getting really low, taking 2 turret shots in that process. Surprisingly, nobody's still dying.
I would like to see the Ashe and the Zyra here. Both 6. Both look relatively strong with items. Both coming off of fresh resets. I would like to see them both hit Fatty.
Yeah. Moxie and potentially caught out here. 3 people collapsing in onto him. Fatty going to use the stun onto Moxie in here, and that's going to be the second kill of the game. First one for Ubermenschen.
Unfortunate for Gemstone to get hit by the Ashe ult there.
Yeah, not able to collect an assist on that, unfortunately. It's still going to be 5 Void Grubs going over to Wits Ender, so they are still going to have that potential win con later on with the Renekton in the side lane.
Only 600 gold difference here. 700, sorry. Between the two teams here, so nobody amassing a great lead here. Still anybody's game.
Yeah. We got the second dragon, and potentially going to be looked to start it up here by Ubermenschen. Twig's trying to trade into the Malphite top lane, but not having a fun time.
And with Twinkle in the mid lane, he's struggling to amass any sort of lead here into the Diana. Obviously, you did say it was Diana favored slightly, so I guess all things considered, it's not looking too bad. And once this Yone gets 2 items, I think it's going to be a different story.
Yeah. I don't think it's Diana's job to really kill. Ooh, ultimate going to be used by Al here. Dominus going to be popped just in time, not having just enough damage, unfortunately. Will be able to escape, though, but probably going to lose some turret plates. Same time, Fatty jumping onto Aeon Centurion, who's getting called out for vision here in the Dragon Pit. Exhaust going to be used. The Q's going to miss, but Fatty will be able to secure the kill using the W. Ghost going to be popped by Replace Brute to chase him down. At the same time, we got a quick fight here in the mid lane. Moxie being forced to flash away from Gemstone, but he's standing inside of the Misfortune ultimate. It's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Wits Enders.
And a dragon, it would seem. Unfortunate for Zyra to get caught out there, and it all led to this. Maybe Twinkle can get a return kill though on Gemstone.
Oh, Gemstone just being a bit overzealous. Great use of the E to dodge out on the Q. And gonna walk towards the brush where Twinkle doesn't have vision, so won't chase after him. What is Twinkle going first item? Is he going for Bork first?
It could be Bork or heavens forbid. Heavens forbid it's an Immortal Shield.
I hope to God it's not. It can't be because it builds out a pickaxe here. Wait, ooh, go back though. Not gonna look for the kill onto Fatty. I think he preemptively used the E to draw back. Moxian trying to chase down Mars here.
Moxian needs to be back in his jungle.
Yeah. Falling behind a little bit, should be a bit further ahead in CS. Al just doing Al Malphite things into Renekton. I just hope it's not Wits End first item. That would be really weird.
Very well could be, but I don't think it's as weird as we think, given all the AP damage.
Yeah.
Oh.
E gonna connect onto the bot lane of... But unfortunately, Replace Brute will find the W to kill onto the Ashe. Trying to jump in onto the Zyra here. Going to have enough CC. Do they have the damage, though? He's trying to get Dak to his turret. Will be able to find the kill, but Twinkle's now going to TP in onto a ward. Has the Fate Sealed and the Flash if he wants to try something. Going to look to stack up the Q.
Okay.
He's going to miss. Q3's going to miss as well, and I think Mike's just going to be able to get away.
In an odd turn of events, I think I'm going to have to leave you to solo cast. The tornado sirens are going off here in Michigan.
Oh, Jesus.
And yeah, I'm going to have to head down to the basement, so I don't want my internet to cut out or anything.
You're good. You can stop the stream. I can just open up my OBS real quick. Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready and I'll stop.
Yeah, just let me... Alright, I'm good to go if you